Hi, welcome to day one of Advent Asana, the 1st of December and the beginning of the countdown to Christmas. It's a busy time, so you're invited now to come and take 5 minutes out of your busy day and explore a pose a day. Today the pose is Virasana, the hero pose, and I have the lovely Rosie coming to be my student. We'll look at the alignment issues with this pose, hero, and ways that maybe will make it more comfortable for you if you don't naturally fall into the comfortable hero pose. There are some people who are very happy in the pose and there's others who are very unhappy for various reasons. So welcome Rosie, and Rosie, come forward. You can see I've put a blanket here. Rosie is a lovely cork mat, so it's nice and soft anyway, but putting the blanket there just allows for a little bit of cushioning when your bony feet are kind of pressing into the floor, and that can be enough to kind of irritate you and move you out of the pose quicker than you might if you hadn't got your rug. So a rug is a nice idea, and whenever you're using a rug as a base, always have the whole base of your pose on the rug. So if you just bring yourself a little bit further up, Rosie, thank you. And then stand with your knees together. Can you bring them together? And we'll start there and then we'll see what happens after that. So the knees are together and the feet are apart. And Rosie, you could bring your feet apart a little bit more. In this pose, we sit in between our feet. So we sit on the ground in between our feet. So as you go back, Rosie, I want you to bend your knees and reach back to your calf muscles and iron your calf muscles back towards your heels and ever so slightly out. And that just creates a bit of space behind your knee, keeps your knees safe. And then you can come to sit down onto the floor. And I can see already that Rosie isn't too happy with that. Is your bum on the floor?
Yeah,
Just about. Rosie's bum is just on the floor. She doesn't look happy. What is uncomfortable, Rosie?
In this knee, a little bit in here, and the tops of my feet.
Okay, so two things. The one thing she said first was the knee, so I say up out of it straight away, because if your knee is hurting you in any pose, that's a cue for you to get out of the pose as quick as possible. So there's a couple of solutions to helping with that knee pain. The other problem that Rosie has is that the stretch through the front of her foot felt that was kind of pretty intense. Was it painful?
Yeah, well, a little bit, but not painful.
It's a different pain, the pain in the foot, to the pain in the knee. So the pain in the foot is the stretch through the front of the foot that it's just not used to. So in a way I could say grin and bear that, but we'll be nice because it is the Christmas season and we'll try to alleviate that problem as well as the knee problem. So my first go-to is to put a block between the feet so that when Rosie sits back, she now sits back onto a block, her bum is elevated, the pressure is off the knee and the pressure is off the front of the foot by a degree. So let's see how that works for you. Once again, bring the calf muscle back and then sit back.
That is much better, but I feel like one more.
Do you feel anything in your knee?
No.
But you feel like one more would be more comfortable. Okay, and as it's Christmas, we'll allow her have another block. So put this block underneath. And now this is kind of the Rolls Royce of hero pose, Virasana pose, which is lovely because you can now stay in the pose a little bit longer than you normally would if you were sitting on the floor, especially if you're sitting on the floor and there's discomfort. So far this is looking really good. Rosie started with her knees together and they've moved slightly apart, which is perfect because ideally the knee lines up with the hip joint rather than knees together, because when the knees are tightly together there may be a torque between the bone of the lower leg and the bone of the upper leg, so between your shin bone and your thigh bone. This way, when the knees line up with the hips, we know that the knees are pretty safe. And now with the base nice and happy, look down at your feet, Rosie, and line the center of your heel up with your second toe. So it looks to me like your feet have to come in a little. Most people's feet will have to come in a little bit to find that line. And again, we do that to line the shin bone up with the heel. In other words, we take any torque out of the shin bone, again, as a protection for the knee. And now take a breath and fill yourself through the sides of your body up into your armpits, roll your shoulder blades back. And then watch as you do that, stick your ribs out again like they were. Do you see the way Rosie's ribs stuck out as she's done that? Now as you exhale, soften and soften your ribs down, but keep your shoulders back. And Rosie, you could allow your hands now to rest on your thighs. And then bring your throat back, but keep your throat soft. Keep the throat area soft. With each breath, allow yourself to be held from the inside, and lifted from the inside, and with each exhale, soften the skin of your body over that inner lightness and inner brightness. Allow your base to be fully present, and allow your upper body to be light and fluid, so that your base is earthed, but your upper body is light and more sky energy than earth energy. Keep your face soft, keep your tongue soft, and you can stay here for up to 5 minutes. It's a really good place to practice pranayama, which are the breathing exercises that we do, and it's a really good place to meditate. It's one of the classical sitting poses. So the benefits of it are that it increases circulation to the legs, and in particular it increases and promotes circulation in the lower legs, so as such it is a really good preventative for varicose veins. It's also given as a treatment for flat feet, and Rosie has pretty flat feet, so Rosie, this is a perfect pose for you to practice, and you might find that you're able to move down a block when your legs, when your feet and when your hips get used to this. It's also very healthy for the pelvis and for the pelvic organs, the reproductive organs. And it is also it aids digestion. So a pretty good one to do when you're sitting watching Harry Potter on Christmas Day. Thank you, Rosie. And thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for day 2 Advent Asana. Well.